Hi Kristen, thanks for joining. So now that people are coming on, I'll just get started. So what I'm doing today is just giving, it's basically the title of this is Ben's Business Conference Takeaways. So I was down at a conference in London earlier this month, and it was hosted by Nick James, Seriously Fun Business. The name of the conference was Business Empires. I went to one back in May where Gary Vaynerchuk was headlining as well, which was great. Hi Kristen, thanks for joining. So in this Facebook Live, I'm sharing those takeaways with you. After doing a wee poll in Ben's Business Book Club, which is a Facebook group and community of avid readers that I've got in Facebook, and I done a wee poll to see which speakers and takeaways they wanted, and most people were more interested in Simon Coulson, who's an SEO expert, a fellow SEO expert, and he done a great talk on how to make money online, but also the kind of some tips and why the benefits of why search engine optimization is a really good skill to master. So that's something that I feel more comfortable, and everyone was leaning towards that. I think we got 16 votes for SEO, search engine optimization. That's what the SEO stands for, and I just want to go into that and how to rank your website if you've got one higher up on Google. So the other ones that people were wanting me to talk about was Shah Wasmond and how to grow your business with Facebook. I don't know if we'll have enough time because there's going to be a lot to cover just on search engine optimization itself, but I've decided I'm going to start doing a weekly Q&A with Ben's Business Book Club, and I'm just going to be sticking it on this fan page as well, on Ben Laing Facebook fan page, which you can like, rather than on my personal profile. So anyone that's live today, you can check that event on the Ben Laing page, and there's a weekly event you can subscribe to come on every Monday at 3 PM in UK time, same time as today, although I was a wee bit late, which is classic me. There was a good few questions I asked to direct members in Ben's Business Book Club and people who were coming on live today as well, that I want to maybe cover a couple of them at the end. If not, again, we can cover them in another Facebook Live that I'll be doing later down the line. And again, there was Shah and Lord Sugar, who was one of the speakers at the event. He shared a few good business tips and his business wisdom of building up his £1 billion fortune. So first, obviously I need to establish myself as why you should listen to me about learning search engine optimization rather than going somewhere else, because there's lots of that online, especially on YouTube. You can learn a ton on search engine optimization, but it's about filtering through and finding the right people. So why listen to me about search engine optimization? Well, I've been doing it for over 10 years now. I might look young, but I started really young doing search engine optimization for my dad, who's a property developer. And back when there was a good time for property developers, we were able to get funding. I helped my dad build websites. I worked with a web developer and learned all my web development skills that way. Although I didn't go to college or university to learn web design. The main skill that I learned was search engine optimization, which is all self-taught. There wasn't many university courses teaching that at this time. That was back in probably 2007, way back to then. I started my business in 2011, which is onlinemarketingconsultant.co.uk. I just named my company after the website because it's a really good domain name of mine to secure. And that's one good point right there is when you're buying a domain for your website, the actual URL, the www. Make sure you get keywords in the URL. That's the first SEO tip for you. So that's worth writing down, because a lot of people buy their brand or buy their name or whatever, they get a word that doesn't mean anything, doesn't get any searches on Google. What you want to do is make sure your URL has a keyword that people actually search for, so that gives you an extra chance to show up on the first page of Google when they search for that. Another reason or example of how I've made search engine optimization successful, as well as helping my dad build his property portfolio. He built his portfolio up to about 1.5 million worth of property in equity, and what we done was we got a bunch of websites, property auction websites, high up on Google. These are just 1 or 2 page websites. We would find keywords for like Glasgow, these are cities in Scotland, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, propertyauctions.co.uk. We would have them up on the first page of Google for all these search results. This was when search engine optimization was fairly new, and not many people know as much about it as they do today. So it's getting harder, but I now know even more. Like, I've got 10 years experience in doing search engine optimization for myself and for clients now. For another example, I built a website for a customer who has a storage business. We built the website in 2014, and it's still on the first page of Google for their search terms. And that's the great thing about SEO. If you find a good niche, a good domain name, a good bunch of long tail keywords. What I mean by long tail keywords is it could be like almost a sentence, and if you can rank for that sentence, as long as it gets good amount of search volume, you can show up there and get lots of free traffic forever if no other competition comes in behind you. So that's the good thing about SEO. Once you put it there, it's there forever, and that's a great thing about it, and it's free. So that was a customer who actually paid for a website, but as a result of having my SEO knowledge, I can't build a website for someone without applying my SEO knowledge, because it just wouldn't be ethical, if that makes sense, because it doesn't feel right to build a website and not do something I know that would benefit that customer. So that's one benefit of my web design services, that I have the SEO knowledge as the foundation, and then I have the web design as the helpful service that we communicate well and things. But that's the sort of key selling proposition of our service as a web design company, and that's the benefits of search engine optimization. It's done forever, as long as you find the niche. So another benefit of using search engine optimization again is that if you can master the skill of search engine optimization, it's so powerful. You can get almost any small business website to the first page of Google if you get really good at it, which I can do with almost every small industry now. And if you can get on the first page, it's good, because I think it's 5% of people don't go past the first page. So if you can get a website on the first page, that's pretty good, because that's where the traffic is. There's no traffic on page 2 these days, unfortunately. So if you're on page 2 or page 3, you need to get up to page 1, and that's what search engine optimization will do. Search engine is Google, Yahoo and Bing, but I focus on Google because most people use Google. We all talk about Google. It's even a word in the dictionary now. You Google it. So Google is what we focus on when we talk about search engine and search engine optimization. The optimization word is just for the actual optimize. Like another way of saying that is emphasize your keywords, emphasize and get attention of your website, make your website more effective and perform better. That's what optimization is. So your website, you're applying search engine optimization, and you're optimizing your website for ranking higher on Google. That's what search engine optimization means in SEO. The one thing that I've managed to get from mastering this skill is working from home. I've been able to set up my business. Here I'm in North Berwick just now. I started my business back in Fife from my parents' home, and my back was against the wall. I had to start a business. I learned SEO after helping my dad do the property. I started bringing on clients and basically sharing my skills with customers, building websites for them and ranking their existing websites high up on Google. And I've done all of this since 2011. I've done all of that working from home. I've never rented office space. And that's the beauty of this skill, because it's all remote. You can do it from anywhere in the world. I was doing it down in London. I was doing it when I was going around Europe. And as long as you've got an internet connection, you can obviously, a laptop is helpful with it, but if you've got internet connection, you can do a lot with this skill. And I get to see my daughter and my girlfriend, who are at home just now. My girlfriend's on maternity leave, so I get to see my daughter a couple of steps down out the office door and down the hall, so it's not a long commute to work. Thanks for joining, Matt. I see we've got 3 live viewers at the moment. Give me a thumbs up who's online. So another SEO tip is, if we add keywords to our images when they're on your, so if you take a picture and then you save it onto your phone and get it onto your computer somehow, what to do is rename that file name of the image, because most times an image name just has a bunch of numbers. So change the image file name to the keywords, so a search term basically. So if I wanted to be found, you would search something like online marketing consultant. So I would rename all the files or images that I'm going to upload to my website with the word online marketing consultant. And if you're in the UK and you search online marketing consultant, I'm number 1, or at least on the first page, and I always have been there. And that's why I say when I do my elevator pitch at conferences or networking, if you want to find out more information about me, just Google me, because I practice what I preach. So that's the tip. Number 2 is basically add the keywords to your images before they get uploaded to the website. So if you don't manage your website or don't know how to manage or build a website, what you do is make sure you do that. That's a step that you as the owner should do before you send it to your web developer. So make sure that you take that step, because then it's into the web developer's hands to do that. They might not do it, and sometimes they don't. So that's your step, is make sure you rename all the image files on your computer before you send them over to someone to build the website, or before you upload them yourself. And every time you do a blog post, that's a wee extra step you can do. And Google's a search engine. It's a machine. It's got a very clever algorithm, but it's not that clever. It's not as clever as people make it out to be. That's why SEOs can manipulate the system through black hat SEO, which is something I don't practice. I try and do the follow the terms of service, but this is one. Google do approve of search engine optimization. It's not a bad thing. They just want to make sure you follow their terms of service and not try to manipulate their system, because people can show up for keywords that aren't relative if they want to, but eventually they'll get wiped out. So you're better to do it in the right way. I've been in trouble with Google before, and I won't do it again. Put it that way, they don't mess about. So that's definitely a really important key, is to put the keyword in the image. Because Google are machines, you need to tell Google what you want your website to be found for, so make sure that keyword's in there. There was someone I heard saying, they said it perfectly, it wasn't myself, so I can't claim that I said it, but the best definition of search engine optimization is letting Google know that your site is alive. So a great example and a story of that is when I first started learning search engine optimization with this web developer I was building the property sites with. One of the key tips that he gave me at the beginning of doing SEO was every couple of weeks go into your FTP, which is a file transfer protocol client, which is where websites before WordPress and everything existed, there was an area where you would have the files like your images on your computer, and where you would have your HTML, PHP files before you design the website on your desktop, on your computer. Then you would move it into this FTP platform, move it from your computer onto that, and that would publish the website live. So there was like a sort of A and B. A was your computer, B was your live website. You drag and drop those files over to B, and your website would be live. What you could do is just add a file from your desktop to your computer every month or every week, and that would kind of tell Google that your website's alive. And that was one SEO tip that probably still works today. So that's why blogging and content marketing is so important, so you're keeping your website updated. So let Google know that your website's alive, keep it updated daily if you can, and that's one way of really helping your website stay active. Show Google that you're using the website, it's not a spammy site, because the reason that works is because spammy sites, a web developer or someone who's really good at SEO or black hat SEO will build a website, get it up on number one on Google and leave it forever. So it's such a static website. Whereas if you do the opposite from that and make sure it's an updated, that's why I use WordPress, because it's a great place for content management. It's a CMA, which it's a content management system, CMS, and that's one of the best things about using WordPress and the benefits of WordPress for the search engine optimization. Another great example is this Simon, who done the talk at this conference in London. Hi Michael, I've just seen you've joined us here. You got any questions for us? So what you could do, or the example the guy gave us was, if you put it this way, where would you rather have your shop, in Timbuktu or New York Times Square? It doesn't, so the cost, without putting in the cost, there's one person passes this area per day, and there's millions of people pass the area per day. So obviously you'd rather have it in New York Times Square. The same applies to search engine optimization if you think about it. If there's a keyword like your brand that no one knows about, or your name no one knows about yet, we'll use Michael Gawkin for an example in this case, who's live with us. So michaelgawkin.com. No one knows about Michael Gawkin yet because he's not built up a personal brand until you build up. So there's massive amount of searches for Kim Kardashian, for example, and there's not very many searches. I'm building my brand for Ben Laing. So it's not about using keywords that aren't relative to you, but it's finding the keywords that your product or service that you're selling, finding the keywords that people search for that. Because I think that people would search for search engine optimization, but what people actually search for is how to get my website higher on Google. So that would be a good domain name to buy, rather than SEO, because people, that's jargon. It's in my world, I know exactly what it means, but when I say SEO to some people, they're like, what does that mean? They get it confused with CEO, or like the CEO of a company. So just look at what people are searching. Just ask questions of your customers. What did you search on Google to find us today? When you get a phone call in, that's one good way. And take note of what they actually searched on Google. So you say, how did you find us? Google. And what did you search on Google? That's a question I always ask. And then I make sure I'm putting those keywords that people commonly search on Google into the website, into the images, and into the title, and into the meta description. These are other places you can add keywords. So I'm going to jump over to what Simon Coulson, the speaker at Business Empires, was talking about as well, on how to actually use this skill of search engine optimization. So I've explained why SEO is a really good skill. It's worthwhile learning because it's pretty much evergreen. You can use it as long as search engines are around. I say search engine optimization will always be important. So SEO is not dead, pretty much. One way you could actually use your SEO skills, if you've got any, or when you develop these skills, is you can build a course based on your own knowledge, or write an ebook and get up on Amazon or put up on a website for sale. And the good thing about that is it's free, because you can write it from your own knowledge, your existing knowledge. Or another way you can do it is you get a friend or a colleague, someone who has great knowledge in something. Simon Coulson done an example of he found a pilot, and then he got the person to offload all his knowledge into paper, put a course together, put an ebook together, and sold that ebook for $97. So once you get an ebook, it's just a PDF document. But don't call it a PDF document, because PDF's not valuable, but the word book is valuable. Hence, the lovers of in Ben's Business Book Club, we all love buying books. So that was another tip from another speaker, was don't use the word free PDF, use the word free ebook, because it seems much more valuable. It's psychology. So build up courses and products, online digital products that don't cost money to print or produce, and then rank them number one, build a website around it. You pay a web developer. You can find someone on Fiverr to build a website for $5. Pretty much, you can get a really cheap website built, or you can go on to wordpress.com and build your own website yourself. Or you can come to me and I can build a website for you, but that would be more expensive than you doing it yourself. If you need hosting though, we charge $16.50 per month for hosting if you need hosting. And once you've got your own book, or someone's wrote a book for you, you can actually pay them £1,000 or something to write the course, and then they take no more profits. You just sell the book for them. That's one way they can make money off their existing knowledge, or you can do that and make money off your existing knowledge. But the point is to get a digital product put online and get a website built on it, apply search engine optimization to it, get number one for a highly searched keyword search term on Google, and then once you're driving that free traffic to it through search engine optimization, that the sales should start coming in. And then once you kind of hit the limit of there, the guy mentioned that once you get, basically that's how he became a multi-millionaire, is writing ebooks or getting other people to write ebooks, selling them on his own website. He would maybe pay a commission, but most times he would make all the profit, and then he would just rinse and repeat, he says. So the guy asked him, like, once he'd start selling off his car brokerage ebook for $97, he was doing really well. He got to a stage where he was doing fine, that was his income. But what do you do next, like, to expand from that? Well, all you do is find someone else in another industry, get them to give you their knowledge into an ebook and sell it for them, go 50-50, something like that. And that's one way to make money online today, starting today. You can do that. You just need to find someone with the knowledge, or if most people in Ben's Business Book Club probably have more than enough knowledge. I think the other speaker mentioned that we write a book through like messaging, text messaging, through Facebook, through posts on Facebook and conversations in the comments and forums and things. We all write a book about every 2 weeks, I think he said. So you just need to get, if you're not a good writer, you don't need to be a writer. You just have to record your voice and send it to a transcription service who can transcribe an hour of you talking away about something you know into text. He can type it up for you for like $5 an hour, something like that, so you can get a course done. And an ebook doesn't have to be any longer than 80 pages, they mentioned as well. So that's hopefully knocks off like the idea of I can't write a book. That you can write a book, basically, is what their point was. But I'll move on. That's the tips from Simon Coulson, search engine optimization, and how to use that skill to make money online. The other tips were Shah, who talked about how to grow your business with Facebook. And there was a common theme at this conference in London of Facebook groups, basically building up members in your Facebook group is the new email list. So they're actually saying that Facebook groups are going to be more important than building your email list, or just as important. So if you've not started building or you've not created a Facebook group, just create one today and bring in your friends that might be interested in what you're going to share. So decide what your topic, obviously, and then create a Facebook group around that and start building it, like what I've done with Ben's Business Book Club. I just done it around a passion. There wasn't any business plan around it at the beginning, but I do plan on making a specific group just for search engine optimization tips on the knowledge that I have from working with clients and applying this to my own business. So I'd be interested if Ben's Business Book Club and the members in there would let me know if they're interested in joining that group if I go ahead and make it. Let me know in the comments or and send me a direct message. So that was the big theme, is Facebook groups, Facebook groups, Facebook group. Create one. If you've got a business, you should get one, because you build a tribe around what you're building. If you're building new products, you get them on your journey. I've seen a guy doing it perfectly, Craig Alexander Herd. He's building a thing called Habit Hackers planner, and it's just a leather planner similar to Grant Cardone's 10x planner, and it's like a gratitude planner and journal where you write down what you're going to do hour to hour of the day, write down your goals and your targets. But he's building the journey from trying to create an app around it, getting the cover kind of put onto the book after designing the inside of what the actual structure of the planner will look like. So I think he's doing a great job of what I'm talking about, and bringing people on your journey if you've not got products yet, on how to build them, because you can actually build them with your tribe. So I'm thinking of lots of new business ideas from suggestions and things that people are mentioning to me, just running Ben's Business Book Club. So it brings a lot of opportunities to you as well when you create a Facebook group. So go and make a Facebook group. You can do that just now, it's completely free, and you can start inviting friends for free as well. I would mention that some people get pissed off if you don't ask them if they want to come into your group, because then they start getting notifications from everyone posted in that group. And you don't want to do that at the beginning. You want to get them in, see good, valuable content, so that every notification is valuable. But if they get lots of notifications from people saying, what is this group, or whatever, they'll leave and they'll probably never come back. So ask them, just get permission. It's permission marketing, that's called. Get permission to ask for their email or whatever, and then invite them into the group. Another tip was, she would, when she set up a Facebook group, she would ask for their email address. So people who are maybe just joining Ben's Business Book Club, they've probably seen that I now have a list of 3 questions. I had that before, but it was that idea of you build your email list as you build your members in your group. So I've made it a required field when people go to join my Facebook group that they give me their email address. So now I'm building an email list that I can advertise or monetize my group and offer some products or affiliate products to my list, and keep in touch with my list outside of Facebook as well, because that might be their preferred method of communication. So it's not just about selling to them by building that list up, it's about growing the relationship and trust as well. So get their information from lots of different areas, so that, because people aren't on Facebook maybe as much as you are, or as much as I am. Thanks for everyone else. Air blended learning. Just want to see the comments here. Okay. So the next thing was that Shah Wasmond mentioned that she spent nothing on adverts, on Facebook ads, but she built her whole business up to 1.5 million just using Facebook, like organically, not using Facebook ads, and that was through using groups. She's now making 15,000 per month by showing up on a Thursday and doing what I'm doing. So she shows up in this private Facebook group, which is a paid one, where there's, I don't know if I've got the figure here. So there's thousands of members. I think our Facebook group is now up to 18,000, but she makes £15,000 per month by showing up one day a week and doing a 1 hour Facebook Live. And that's what she was calling like a freedom business, because before she said she had lots of small wins. She'd done great jobs, got testimonials from customers, got awards and things. But one thing was missing is one of her like whys and her reason for being in business, her goal, was that she wanted to take 17 weeks off per year, which I thought was a great goal to aim for, to be able to take that off without any worries. And she called that like the freedom business model, and making sure it's all digitalized, especially in the 21st century, you can do it. So if you're working one-to-one with customers, it's very hard to scale. But when you're working one-to-many on Facebook Live or using webinars or the internet, and really leveraging the internet to grow your business worldwide, there's no stopping you really. The sky's the limit. So I totally agreed with that you need to systemize. She says she had 80% of her business that was digital, and she's trying to increase that so it's almost 100% digital. Systemize and automate things. So you just show up on a Thursday, and I thought that was a great idea. So create a Facebook group and do free Facebook Lives, but maybe one day when you're confident to do it on camera, you can start charging for an hour of your time to a group of 20 people on Facebook Live. That's one way you can do it. So that's why I started doing Facebook Lives, basically, because I heard that idea and I was like, well, I need to just bite the bullet and get on Facebook Live. I've been holding it back for some reason, so I'm now just doing it. I've not got a great strategy, but the strategy will come to me over time once I develop and see what questions come in. So that was the main points I learned from that. I would like to share more about what Lord Sugar shared, but I can share that in another week on Facebook Live. Let me just, so the 3 things I've covered there is what search engine optimization is, the benefits of it, how to make money with the skill and knowledge of SEO, and how to make money online in general. And also how to grow your business with Facebook. There was a couple of questions that came in, so does anyone have any questions for me? Let me just see. Yeah, Matt, so yeah, you can create a Facebook group. It doesn't mean like there's an option in Facebook to make it paid, but what she's doing is basically she's got a website where or an email list that she's talking to them there, or she's talking to them in the free group, and she's obviously got a private Facebook group, or she's taking them out of Facebook and having them in a membership area where she's just basically doing a live webinar with that list of people, and she's showing up and doing a Facebook Live every week and charging for that. So basically she's taking the payments outside of Facebook, but she's having them in a Facebook group somewhere where they only get in to be they only get in if they're members. I've seen Facebook groups that are paid only, so premium members only, and if they stop paying the subscription, they get booted out, so like the admin can just click and they're out the group as soon as they stop paying. So it's a great way to make money without too much resources. Like you just, all you need is a Facebook group, a standing order with your clients. It's a great business model, and I really like that it was the digital business model. So Ricardo says leverage, such a powerful way to grow your business. Yeah, I totally agree. So let me just, has anyone got any questions? I don't know if I've missed any. There's plenty of people joined, but there's not any questions coming up. So I've got direct questions through my Facebook Messenger there, but let me just bring up some of the questions that I've seen. An element of my business is trying to build my online sales. Face-to-face sales and Facebook inquiries are okay. They could be better as well. However, online sales probably online make up to 5% of total sales. So any tips, advice on increasing this is what I'm after. And that's why you chose the topic of making money online. So I think that was Doogie that asked that question. So thanks for asking that question. So you're trying to build your online sales. So you're making a lot of sales in store, I guess. If you're online, please give me a thumbs up if I'm right about that. So some ways that I know of personally is definitely Facebook. My Facebook business group has been benefiting me and my business in that way. Another way, if you're selling, I know you know what you're doing, Dougie. You're selling things online as well. So you've got an e-commerce website. Potentially, we've maybe discussed this, but for the audience, if you have an e-commerce website but you don't sell on eBay or Amazon, I would recommend using this billion-pound industry which is Amazon to get your products in there, as well as just having the e-commerce website, because that's just an additional avenue of sales that you're kind of missing out on if you're not in there. So get into Amazon, get into eBay, but especially Amazon, and you can just be a merchant seller, which there's two options in Amazon. You can be an FBA seller, which is fulfillment by Amazon, which means you need to send your products into Amazon's warehouse and make sure you sell them within Amazon's terms, because if you order too much stock in and get them into Amazon and you don't sell them off, Amazon increase their prices and you get into trouble that way, and I've been there as well. So that's one way of doing it, is just having the stock in your own place, and you can stick a product listing up on Amazon for each product and sell it that way, and just when someone clicks order, you'll get an email and you just post it out from your place. So I would recommend getting on Amazon. I hope that answers your question. That's another way of making more sales online. Let me just think. So there's that. If you're making some sales through Facebook as well, maybe go back down the feed of what actually worked. So if you've worked out that you have made sales from Facebook, it's really just about the 80-20 principle. 80% of your results have come from 20% of your effort. So what I do is, when I put lots of activity into something, I use the 80-20 principle for everything, because it works. So you double down on what works. So 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts or your posts on Facebook, and do more posts like that, the ones that they like. So if this Facebook Live directs into sales for me or builds up massive trust to maybe make sales later, then I'll keep doing Facebook Lives. If I've seen it work for someone else, then I recommend everyone does Facebook Lives as well. It's all about confidence, I would say, and getting on a Facebook Live feed and just having the guts to jump on, stick Facebook Live on, and start talking around the knowledge around your products, not just jump on and sell. So in terms of social media marketing, what works for me is that I don't sell. I just basically don't go for the right hook. I jab, right hook, maybe every so often, but I leave the right hook out, which is the give value, and then the right hook is the sale, which Gary Vaynerchuk talks about. So that strategy works. So find the old posts, go back down your feed and see which ones resulted into sales or which ones got really good engagement and got you more followers, and do more of them, so the ones that people found most valuable. And one way to find out about that as well, if you maybe didn't get, like, you can't find that data, is you can send messages directly to people and just ask them. I ask all the time. Everyone here probably knows that I do. I'm always asking my audience questions of what they want more of from me. So what they've seen, like they've seen my genius and they want more of that. That's what I do, because it gives you self-awareness when you ask questions, ask people to be even critical of you, and then you can deliver better results of yourself directed at what people are actually looking for. So I hope that answers your question, Dougie. Another question here is, let's see, it's ranking on Amazon that I've found to be difficult as I sell shirts. Right, okay. So there's a lot of competition on Amazon, I guess. Well, search engine optimization, which I've just talked about, is definitely what will help that, because you can rank organically. One way to make sure that you're not spending like too much is, a thing that I've learned is a sales blitz on Amazon. And this works for websites. So this is directed to Amazon, people who can sell products on Amazon, but also for people who have websites. So it's called the traffic sales blitz, or sales blitz. And what you do, back a long time ago, there was like a sales team would come in and they would decide, for example, I stay in North Berwick, they would choose a location in North Berwick and they would do all different types of marketing. So they would do leaflet drops, they would make phone calls to all the companies in North Berwick, and they would create such a big buzz around this one target location that eventually everyone would be talking about this new company who's been marketing to the max. It's like when you see, I'm trying to think of a good example of a company that's done it. Like Nando's was nothing a few years ago, or a good few years ago, and now it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. So like, it's just going like fully in on making sure your ranking goes up, because by doing that massive activity all at once, Amazon or Google start to pick up on your activity. And it's like, keep making sure Amazon know that your product listing is alive, and making sure Google know that your website's alive. And that's kind of what you're doing with that. So one thing you could do on Amazon to get more traffic to your product listing is pay for sponsored advertising. And if you're not sure which keywords to go for, there's an automated one, so it'll choose the related keywords to your product listing for you. And you can add keywords to your product listing by editing it. And once you pay for a sponsored ad, that's just one way of doing it. Another way is pay for Facebook ads. So you're sending traffic from lots of different streams. That's one way of driving a bunch of traffic. But traffic is actually a ranking factor of Amazon and of Google's ranking algorithm. So they'll rank your website or your product listing higher because you're sending all this traffic. A great way of explaining it is Amazon, Facebook and Google are all kind of competitors to each other. They're looking for people to use their platform rather than someone else's, because Google do have a shop system like Amazon, and they're all copying each other. So if you're sending people with Facebook ads over to Amazon, Amazon are going to reward you by ranking higher, because you're sending people from their competitor over to Amazon, kinda. You're sending people over to Amazon. The more people that come into Amazon, they reward the sellers for that, because once they buy something, they usually go and buy something else to make sure they get free shipping or something. So Amazon really do reward you for getting outside traffic into Amazon, not just through traffic internally through sponsored. So I hope that answers your question as well. The Pareto principle, that's right, Richard. That's a Italian economist, I think, made that up. So here's a couple more questions. How long have I been on live for? I just get into flow when I do these things and I don't have a clue where the time goes. So 41 minutes. There's still people live with me, so I've not bored everyone yet. Has anyone got any more questions for me? I can maybe answer some questions live, or I can answer some questions I've got here. Grow business with Facebook because I tried paid ads. Right, here's a good question here. So there's a question from Kristen, I think. It says, grow business with Facebook because I've tried Facebook paid ads and it seems it doesn't reach my targeted market. Well, it works on posting in groups and made sales, but too much posting makes me banned from posting. I'm looking for effective ways in doing it right. So that goes back to what I mentioned before about jabbing. So don't go right into a Facebook group and promote yourself, like sell yourself. I've run a group called Five Business, which got up to, well, I think it's over 1,000 members now, which is another group that I managed, which is a place called Fife, which is a county, like a state in Scotland. And when people join my group there, I'm trying to make it valuable and make sure it's for business events. And when people go in and don't read the rules and I would call it spam the group, I usually just block them without any questions. I don't give them a chance anymore because it wastes too much time for an admin to manage a group. And when I've got Ben's Business Book Club, the great engagement in there and things, I've not got as much time to manage this other group that I set up. And I'm enjoying the book club group better, so I'm really managing that one as best as I can. And you'll see there's not really any spam gets into that at all. And that's because I've created like really quite strict rules now so that people aren't posting anything into the group. And most groups have guidelines anyway, or they need their posts approved before you can post, before the admin will actually approve your message you're putting into there. So it always has to be something that's going to benefit the group when you go into these groups. If you're getting blocked, or it's maybe just because you're posting so much that you're being blocked. But just going back to that, giving value over and over and building up trust that way, and then maybe sending people direct messages rather than going into other people's groups, because most times these Facebook groups the admins have an agenda of some sort. They're looking to grow their business, or they're wanting to just make sure it's got great engagement and it's building their brand or something like that. There's always some kind of agenda. There's no one's going to set up a Facebook group and manage it like hell, like I'm doing with Ben's Business Book Club, for their own good. Because eventually it's like the story in the E-Myth, if anyone's heard it, about I think Mary the baker. She sets up a business because she loves baking cakes, or she loves doing bakery. And over time, the business management of like admin and all the other crap that comes along with managing a business, she doesn't like to get into sales or marketing. She's never found that interesting. She just wants to run a bakery company. And the story or the moral of that lesson was that yes, you go into a business that you love, but you eventually have to systemize things, and it's very hard to systemize Facebook groups. So if a Facebook admin of a group gets enough people spamming the group, they're going to get fed up. So that's one thing to really think about, is that the admins of a very good established Facebook group have to have a good purpose to be managing that group, and make sure that you stay friendly with the admin and always provide value to their group and follow their rules. I hope that answers your question. I kind of went off on a tangent there. Here's another question here. Right, I'm just answering Ben. is it better to make another Facebook account for business or just use the same old personal Facebook account? I read somewhere that you should only have one Facebook account. That way you don't have anything and makes you a real person and trustable. Okay, I wouldn't recommend, so at the moment the way I've got it set up, like I'm not expert on this because like I heard my friend Richard Moore mention before that there's no rules for social media. You kind of just make things up as you go, so you have to kind of be living and breathing in Facebook, for example, and make sure that you understand like where it's going and like all the trends and the like how much reach you're actually getting on your business pages. So for example, by being so involved in Facebook and spending so much hours in it, that's how you become an expert in Facebook. So that's my greatest advice to everyone in here is, rather than trying to find out what the rules are, create the rules of Facebook. So don't wait for permission or ask questions of experts what to do on Facebook, because most times people don't really know because Facebook are the experts of Facebook and they don't give you the answers. So it's really about testing and adjusting to what works and what doesn't work on Facebook, and that's what I talk about, 80-20 principle. So just do what you think. I would recommend, this is what I've done. So I've got a Facebook group. I started the Facebook group. That is the key to my success on Facebook and getting business and growing a community. Is I've just built a really good Facebook group, and I went in on one thing for a long period of time. And it's that idea of a long persistence and consistently staying active in that group and leading the group as well. But I would say what was the trend at the conferences was use your profile, your normal account, create a Facebook group with it, invite potential customers into it, or fans or people who follow your content, your audience. And then what I've done over time is I noticed that by just playing about on Facebook, I was able to link I created a personal brand page, a fan page, which I call Ben Laing, and I've made that picture black and white, and I've got my homepage profile where all my friends are. Most people who find me at networking or get my business card, they find me through my profile. So I think you need to make your profile, your personal profile on Facebook, the main one, the core, the hub. But then you start to build these different streams off of that one. But what you need to do is make sure your personal one is popping, so it's got massive activity and traffic and lots of people in that. And then you start directing people saying, oh yeah, I've got a fan page, oh yeah, I've got this Facebook group. And then just as you build trust through your main hub, your personal profile, the main one with your face, make it look professional. And I would say this is just my opinion, but stop using Facebook for stop using your personal Facebook profile for personal stuff. I've just started meeting people that I want to meet in my personal life. This is a philosophy, my own opinion on how to live. But I prefer if I have a true friend, they'll come for me, or I'll go for them. I'll call them, pick up the phone and call them, or I'll send them a text message. But I try not use Facebook for my personal life anymore. So that kind of helped me big time to just make the switch of, right, Facebook's for business now, and that's it. So that's an idea for people. Obviously you make up your own opinion by taking action and deciding for yourself, but that's what works for me at the moment. I hope that answers your question. Anyway, I think that's long enough, so I hope that's been helpful for everyone. I just wanted to conclude with, if you enjoyed some of the tips and the search engine optimization tips, I'm going to be doing a weekly Facebook Live for maybe a wee bit shorter than this, just answering questions on search engine optimization. I might maybe focus on Facebook a wee bit more as well. I might change the name of it so it's like maybe digital marketing Q&A rather than SEO specifically. I would like feedback from everyone if you would like me to direct it in any area, if you liked what I was talking about on SEO, or if you liked what I was talking about on social media, what's working for me. and anything else. So there's that. Also, I've got a Facebook, I've got a wee deal for everyone that's came online today. You'll probably see I've scheduled a post for 4 PM in the UK. It'll go onto Ben's Business Book Club, so if you're in that group, anyone that came online today gets a coupon for my SEO training for WordPress course. And the coupon code is SEO27NOV. And if you go to udemy.com/SEO dash, so hyphen dash, whatever you call it, training for WordPress websites, and there's a hyphen between each of them instead of a space, and then the coupon code is SEO27NOV, and you'll get that course for $10 rather than, I think it's at normal price is £25 on Udemy. So thanks for coming online today. I hope that's been helpful. I'll see you later.